Good evening and welcome to another Railsim Gamer video tutorial. So close to 1,000. I must clearly state that a bit off topic, but so close to 1,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you have. We're so very close. We're now in the single figures, I believe, at the time of recording this. We're on 993, nearly at 1,000. So no better time to subscribe. Yeah, that's my plea. Anyway, back to what we're doing here. In this video, we are actually going to do a bit of a driver training, kind of drive with me, kind of this is how I drive a train, that kind of thing. And hopefully, if you've watched the other videos, I've done all the shortcuts. This is more just to talk through how we actually do it, sort of driving, signals, stopping being a big one. I've got that one a lot. I get a lot of messages saying, I don't know how to stop, and it's not just me just saying pull the brake. Anyway, we are going to drive on the Chatmos route by Alan Thomson Simulation. Thomson Simulation, many apologies, Alan. And we're going to do a very simple scenario. Pardon me. We're going to take the service between where we're going. We are driving a... Oh, that's an interesting one. We are driving a service between Liverpool, Line Street and Manchester Victoria. Date 29th of October. That is... I don't know what it says October. I think it's in summer. Anyway, we're going to drive this one. It's going to be about 40 minutes long. Let's just load into it, shall we? I imagine I'll get some errors about dependencies, like trains being missing, and I'll show you how to clear that error, because not all the time, I say most of the time, you need the required scenario trains, AI traffic, but you can sometimes get away with not having it. Now just loading. So we're going to be driving the Chatmos route, runs between Liverpool and Manchester, developed by Alan Thomson Simulation. There we go, got it that time. And we're going to be driving the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 800 Enhanced DTG add-on, which came packaged, I believe. I actually got in 2012 when I brought Train Simulator for the first time. Christ, 13 years. Where's the time go? Anyway, let's just wait for this to load, and we'll go through the setup process. What I'll probably do while we're at stations, I might actually skip the waiting, so you're not just sat around in awkwardness for about 3 or 4 minutes per station. And we'll take it from there. Come on, you can do it. Let's keep going. I do apologise, it's taking its sweet time to load. It's obviously got a lot of stuff in this scenario, I'd think. Just going to turn it up a bit. Amazing. Amazing, we actually had no missing trains on this one, which is a novelty for us. So to go external to the train, we're going to click number 2, and that sort of pans around the front of the train just like this. And by holding down the right side of your mouse, you can then pan and move around. Anyway, I'm going to go back in the cab. To do that, we click number 1 on the keyboard, and we're going to insert the master key, which is Shift W, just like that. Then we're going to click S, which is going to be the reverser into forward, and we're going to get some alarms. First one is the DSD. I'm going to cancel that by clicking E and F, and click Q for the AWS reset.
TPWS and AWS operational.
Perfect. And now we've done that, we can open our doors. We're going to actually click number 2 again, as we've already lined up the view. Zoom in by scrolling, and we're going to open the doors on this side by clicking... No, it's O. Apologies. So O is on the right hand side, and U is on the left hand side, if you imagine in the driving way. And we're going to click T as well, so we can actually activate the timetable. Next thing we're going to set up is our cab lights and tail headlights. So we go to the front train again and click H or Shift H. There we go, Shift H. That one varies. Sometimes it's H and sometimes it's Shift H. It really does depend. I'm not sure why that is like that. But our cab lights are now, or I keep saying cab lights, our headlights are set up. If we want to go to our passenger view, we click number 5 on our keyboard. Just a little look around the passenger view, quite sweet. I don't think I've ever been on Transpennine Express, to be fair. Yeah, it's not a route I really run a lot. To toggle the hood, so the hood is the the controls and like the diagram of the train, we click F3, and that pretty much just says we're ready to actually go. So if we go back to outside, and we can shut our doors by clicking R. Maybe they've already shut. I think they have. Never mind. Free, and the first thing we need to turn off is a DRA, which is a driver reminder appliance, and you set that if the signal's going to be orange ahead. To turn that off, you click Y. We're now going to go outside our train again and sort of watch us leave. Oh, that moved a lot quicker than I thought. And we're going to click A to take some power. Just like this. Sort of keeping an eye on the speed limit. We don't want to take too much power too quickly. So we'll probably just try and keep it into notch 1 or 2. And then we'll just drop down by clicking D to decelerate. So we're not taking in power. You can actually view the hood outside of the train by clicking F3. You can also get the large one if you want to click F4. Okay, oh, need to slow down a little bit. There we go. And if you want the big hood where you can actually move the train around like this, you can click F4, but we don't want that. I always find it kind of clutters a bit with that, really. Going to go back into the cab by clicking 1 on our keyboard. Just going to take a bit of power and get us up to 25 miles an hour, which is the current speed limit. The current speed limit, if you haven't worked out, is displayed under here, and our speed we're currently travelling is displayed up here. That should be pretty obvious. There's another train coming. Let's give it a little horn, and that's B and space on the keyboard. That's another. What is that? Oh, it's a what do you want to call it? 800. Not good with these speed limits today. Let's drop down again. To turn the cab light on, we're going to click L. There's, I think most trains and train simulators have a cab light in them now, so you can just toggle that on, off by just clicking L, like that. Sometimes it's quite nice to have when you're going through like tunnels or it's dark, but other times it can be a bit distracting, so I generally drive it off. Let's keep going. It's going to take more power now, because our speed limit goes up to 40 miles an hour, so we've got a bit of wiggle room. Just like this. So we're now approaching 30 miles an hour, and we're now sort of just, yeah, we're now approaching 40 miles an hour. At some point in the scenario, we will practice our train stops at stations. There's quite a good way, a little trick to them. If you're new to train simulator, learning how to stop can be fairly difficult, entertaining, I'd say, frustrating, all the above, I'd say. The funny thing about leaving Liverpool is there's a hill, so you can't exactly turn our power off. Got to have a bit of power. Also got asked the other day about my computer specs, and believe it or not, there is a video coming on that. So if you've been wondering or you request it in the comments and you think I'm ignoring you, I'm not. I just need to actually put the video together. I've got an idea for it. Some little cool tricks if you want to watch a train going past. If you click number 4 on your keyboard, it sort of shows a train going past, which is quite cool. This is quite a common one we use in our videos when we're making them. So just different angles keep the audience interested. So yeah, just see it go past like that. Such a good train and such a good route to express it on as well. And we'll go back in our cab by clicking 1 and F3 at the same time to bring up our hood. So just sitting underneath the speed limit currently. We will take on a bit more speed once the speed limit increases, which it does just here. It goes up to 75 miles an hour. Where's our first stopping point? Our first stopping point is not for a while. Okay, I thought it was a bit closer than that. If you want to see where you're stopping and what the plan is for the actual scenario, if you click F1 on your keyboard, it brings up this diagram on your left which shows the description of the scenario and the stopping pattern of the train. So our first one is actually Lee Green, and that is approximately 8 miles, followed by Newton the Willows, is that? Yep, Newton. Yeah, Newton the Willows in 13 miles and Manchester in 29.4 miles. Let's just pick a bit more speed up. Also, it's not so much a thing now. Originally, Train Simulator, all the stations used to be green, even if you weren't stopping at them. They now got rid of that feature. So if you're ever confused about where you're stopping, and you're like, there's a station approaching, like, am I stopping here? Just check down here, really. Also, notice, I think we're going to get some bad weather, which is always a bit exciting. We're also approaching a speed limit change to 80 miles an hour, followed by one of 90 miles an hour in about 2 miles. Ah, it's raining. So when it rains, obviously window wipers, to activate them, click V on your keyboard, and that'll go through the different settings. So we're currently on kind of a constant one. So if I want to drop that down, click Shift V, and that should drop it down to be a bit more further intervals, really. That's a bit better. Don't want it going all the time. Another station. Little horn. Ah, we're speeding now. That's good. Might have to increase them window wipers. So again, let's watch our train come past by clicking number 4 to come out of the view, and to drop our hood, that's F3. So we've recently just brought the, I'm sure you can see it, we've actually brought the cloud pack from, enhancement pack from Armstrong Powerhouse after a lot of controversial kind of, oh, should I get it, should I not get it? I think generally by day it looks great, like kind of window, like just raining effect. I think it looks really good. Good for getting that stormy effect, which can be a bit hard to get sometimes. If you notice, say it's had a sort of mark over the window, like a feature, that's probably for the blinds up here, just like that. I don't know why you'd want that feature, but you know, such is life. So if we go through the other views, number 3 is the back of the train, number 2 obviously the front of the train, number 4 lets the train come past. Just going to drop our hood on F3. Let's keep an eye on our board because we are stopping soon, as it says here. So the goal with stopping, I'll try and explain it as best I can, is that you kind of want to be about 30 miles an hour when you're approaching the platform, and that gives sort of sufficient time to stop. So just going to start dropping our speed off now. We're going at just shy of 90. So once we drop down to 0.9 miles, we'll start dropping our speed a bit. Actually, we have dropped already, so we'll just keep dropping. This really does vary on different trains. Some have got really good braking and some haven't. And I think it comes also with experience level. You'll start getting used to what you can brake hard on, what you can't. Turns out we actually need to put a bit more braking in, just get the train a bit more under control. So yeah, we're going to try and drop down to about 30 miles an hour at the start of the platform. And the platform's just for this 319 is sat. So again, so we're just approaching 40. There we go, about 30 miles an hour at the start. A bit of sharp braking. Might need a bit sharper to be fair. Okay, so that was really poor stopping on my half. Should have put a sort of brake in a bit quicker. that alarm then was actually the emergency brake alarm, only on the 800, and to cancel that you click F. We are just going to open our doors here, to be fair, and hope that some of our train actually made it in. I think it did. If we click 8 on our keyboard, that also sort of puts you in free run camera. Yeah, some of our train did. It's not horrific. Okay, so we're going to go back on our cab, number 1 and F3 to get the hood back. We're going to actually put our window wipers on a bit more and get some acceleration going. So our next station is Lee Green in 2 miles. Let's see if we can actually stop at that one a bit better. That wasn't horrific, that one, it was just slight overrun. Also, you'll get to know that the track has different conditions. In autumn and rainy weather, the trains generally slip a lot more. Obviously, there's not as much traction, so you'll get used to sort of putting brakes in a bit earlier. I think it's starting to stop raining, so I'm just going to slow down window wipers. To slow down window wipers and to stop them, you just click Shift V. It's the opposite of V. It's quite common for that in Train Simulator. Quite often, an opposite action, I suppose. A reversed action is often a shift. Sort of like if you put headlights in and you want to turn it off, it's Shift H instead of H. Just passing this next station. Lovely, sun's coming out again, is what we like. Okay, so this time we're not going to be so precarious with our stopping. Sort of same rules apply. I think actually the platforms here are quite short, so maybe start approaching about 20-25 miles an hour, and maybe a bit sharper braking. And we're now speeding, so it's going to start slowing down. Now, so we're currently in step 1 braking, which is like the lowest of the brakes, and we're just slowing down. So just put step 1 in because we're under a mile away now. Now half a mile away, so we're going to do step 2. And we're going to go back up to step 1. So now just at 30 miles an hour into the platform. There we go, that one's a bit better travel-wise. So yeah, we're going between step 1 and step 2. It's going to stop just here. Perfect. So to go round the train, I'm going to collapse our hood again and click number 8. 8 is free camera, as previously mentioned, and you just use the arrow keys on your keyboard. And hopefully if we click U and T, the door should open. Wow, that made a mock of me. It's the one at the back. Okay. I'd say that's in the platform, but obviously the train simulator doesn't agree. So, when you stop at a platform, you're looking out for these S markers, or car stops. You sometimes get ones with 2 and 3 for 2-car and 3-car trains. And S is generally for any trains that longer than anything on the platform. So if you're at a 5-car and it only goes up to 4-car, you might be then stopping at the S car stop. And the doors are now closing. If we go back into our cab, we do our guard buzzer. So to do guard buzzer back on ours, it is C on the keyboard. And that's done by 2. We're now going to start taking some power again. Let's get a view of this train coming out this platform. Sometimes a trackside view is quite good as well. Just like that. And this is how we generally do our thumbnails as well, actually. Little trade secret there. And back in the cab by clicking 1 and F3 for our hood. So next up in 4 miles is Newton Le Willows. Let's go a bit of passenger view, shall we? Haven't been in there for a while. We can turn our window wipers off now, so we've turned shifted V all the way. Sorry, it becomes addictive. If you start doing this more, you'll start noticing it feels addictive to do that. The thing with these trains also about my speeding is they pick up speed so quickly. It's sometimes very hard to keep them under control. Otherwise you constantly go between notch 1 and 0 just to keep the speed up. Actually notch 1 might balance it pretty well, I think it does. So to be fair, I haven't done a video like this in a very long time. I'd say getting on 5 or 6 years. I don't know if they were better than the ones with commentary or no commentary. I like to think I'm passing on some kind of skill, I hope, a little bit, even if it's not great, and you can learn something. Because once you start understanding Train Simulator, you start enjoying it a lot more than, I don't know, than when you don't understand it. Because you're like, I don't understand how to drive, I don't understand how to stop. But when you get it nailed down, it's quite cool. And you'll probably be more inclined to actually spend more time playing the game. So we're now approaching Newton Le Willows. It is currently in 1.7 miles, so I've got a bit of time before we slow down. I believe we're now passing some of the Manchester stations. That is definitely not a Manchester station. Apologies. Right, let's start slowing down for that one. So we're actually going to do notch 2 braking for a while, just bring our speed under control for a bit. So notch 2 is 35% in the Class 800s. Bring that to notch 3. There we go. So it would appear notch 2 down to the last 40 miles an hour, then notch 3 is the dream team. So U on the keyboard, that will release the doors, and we'll click T for the timetable. And you'll notice when you click timetable, because this red mark will come up just here. So if you go outside, clicking number 8 and dropping our hood at number F3, we can see people sort of spawning out of the side of our train. Fabulous. It can be a bit glitchy. I've come to learn that quite well, actually. Not because of the route developer, it's just sometimes the trains are having a funny 5 moments. So our doors are currently still open. So we are free to go. So if we click A to release our brakes and take on some power. A little blast on the horn. Lovely. I think next stop will actually be Manchester Victoria, I'd think. It is Manchester Victoria in 15 miles, so we've got a bit of a way to go. And it'll now just be pretty much full steam ahead to Manchester. So this is about the halfway point for the route. I see a train waiting. Lovely. So that sign on the left side, that yellow, white one with the crossing, means there's going to be a break in the power. Actually probably heard the train relays going for a second, so we probably won't be taking on power for a bit. We are now again, but it actually stops power to the train. Some trains actually require you to stop taking power whilst where you go under a dead, they're called dead sections, so it doesn't damage the train. But these ones I believe are okay to do that. So now approaching the top speed of 90 miles an hour, so we're going to start dipping our power acceleration. Let's draw that down to just, there we go, just approaching 91 there. Let's have a look at our train come past, so number 4 and F3. Move into clicking 2 on the keyboard so we can have a view of our train, and going around direction wise with our keys on our key arrow keys, and speeding this up by clicking shift and arrow key. Sorry, a bit loud out there, quieter in there. Actually we are holding our speed quite well actually. Train. Wow. Mucked that up. I was going to click number 3. Never mind. So yeah, if we click 3, you'd have seen that train come past. I suppose we could do an episode of all the outtakes. There'd be hundreds of them. Missing platforms, guard buzzering too much, open the doors on the wrong side, train falling off the tracks. It all happens, but it all gets edited out, believe it or not. So we're now approaching speed restriction 75 miles an hour. So it's going to drop our speed down slightly. To be fair, as it's only a 10 mile an hour drop, we don't need to do too much. So you'll notice that we've got an alarm for the speed restriction coming up. We might be going a bit fast actually, yeah, a little bit. So that AWS you have to cancel. It's just an alert saying that the speed limit is due to change. To cancel that, you click Q. It's called an AWS, I think it's Terminator, or yeah, Terminator, I believe. Yeah, lots of funky terms in the rise. There's now another 70 mile an hour speed limit coming up, so it's going to drop down for that as well. Followed by then going up to 75, so I'd imagine there's a corner coming up of sorts, or a junction. Okay, we've still got the path though. Ah, I thought it said 70. That's interesting. I need to look at my eyes a bit bad, but I'm pretty sure it said 70. Never mind. So this one is 75, just like that. So we can start taking speed again. Not really sure why that speed limit's there. It seemed a bit not particularly worth it. I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me why there's a random speed limit there. Let's just start taking some more power. And we'll get back up to line speed of 75 miles an hour. Just like that. Tell you what I really like about this route, going a bit off topic, is the clutter by the railways. I like the redundant bits of rail in the middle of the track, like the grids around, you know, like the AWS just there, like the junction boxes. There's lots going on, a lot of detail. So you got the, you know, old track to the left there. It's just a very good route all round, and I wasn't surprised once I saw the airport commuter line for Train Sim World 5 come out. I was like, this is going to be decent, and it absolutely is. Yeah, but say got a lot of time for these routes. See what I mean? It's very hard to stay underneath the 75 mile an hour speed limit. You have to keep toggling our speed and our acceleration, and to make sure we're staying under it. Bit of power on for a bit and then off again. Followed by a bit more on, just like that. So approach Manchester in just under 6 miles. Due to be there in the next 9 minutes, so I assume there's quite a few speed limits coming in. Take a bit more speed on. So as mentioned earlier, to toggle speed is just A and D on the keyboard. Deceleration, A for acceleration. Sometimes with other trains, sort of like the older ones you have, it's not a combined power controller, it's a brake lever and an accelerator. To control that, you use the semicolon key and the at key if you're using a standard English keyboard, and just toggle between them. So the colon key, semicolon key applies, and the key next to it takes away. So cancelling that with Q on the keyboard, I've got a speed limit of 40. However, that's only 40 miles an hour if you're going off to the left. There'll be a junction coming up in a minute, which it has a 40 mile an hour speed limit, which obviously we're not going down. So I'll show you when. bit of speed on for a bit. So this is Eccles, I believe. So we are just coming into Manchester now. So if we're going left, here that's a 40 mph speed limit as depicted by the sign and the early AWS warning system. Let's get a bit of speed back on for a bit. Yeah, so this is Eccles. So yeah, just the edge of Manchester. So approach, we're going to start getting a lot more sort of advanced signals, probably 4 aspects, flashing junction signals. We'll tackle them as we go, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we're going to start getting some yellows and start getting slowed down for Manchester Victoria, which is approximately 2 and a bit miles, 2.5 miles away. So we're going to start putting some reduction down to 50 miles an hour and 30 miles an hour. We'll just stay with no power for a bit. So there's the first warning for 50 miles an hour, so it's going to drop down to that. Cab light on, L on the keyboard, just switch it off. It does slow the FPS slightly. All these little tricks you'll learn playing Train Simulator for a long time. That was a very cool bridge, got some pipes going over it. We do need to drop down to 30 miles an hour, which is literally just after this 50 mile an hour speed limit. So here's a 50 mile an hour one, and we're going to be slowed down for the 30 mile an hour one, which is just approaching. And you've got a service going the other way. No, it's a drop in FPS there. You'll notice that with really populated areas like Manchester, London, Birmingham on the railway, you get a lot of sort of stuff appear at once, which can absolutely ruin your frame rate for a second. So let's just slow down here. Got a signal, a double yellow coming up, so we're going to click Q to cancel the ADRS on that one, and get prepared to stop in a few signals time. So I believe we're now approaching Salford Central, I believe this station is. So the speed limit is actually going to drop down to 25 in a few minutes. So we actually will just keep this speed up and not apply any more brake or anything like that. We've got a 150 and a 158, so that's Salford Central. Cancel that, click Q on the ADOS again. And it's advised that the next signal will be a red because it's got a single yellow after double yellow, and next one will be a red more than likely, unless we're following a service, which it could be then also a yellow. So there's that 25-hour speed limit. Yeah, we're just going to get stopped just up here, I believe, unless we're crossing over this junction. No, we're going to be stopped just here, so we're just going to start slowing down for this signal approaching. Q on the keyboard, and we're just going to apply some brakes, stop in front of this red signal just up here, and I'd assume we're going to be letting the service come past, which I believe is this 319 just leaving now. If you can, just creep to the signal. Stopping's a bit harder than you need to. Just like that. Let's go and watch that train come past. Just like this. Oh, classic, look at that. So we go back on our cab, 1 and F3. Now got the green one, so we were just waiting for that 319 to pass us, and then we're now approaching Manchester Victoria, where this train will terminate for this scenario. Wow. Okay, that was a lot of talking. I hope this was educational. Is that the right word? I hope it was helpful in sort of giving you some confidence, a bit of pointers for Train Simulator. I hope my sort of bad driving didn't put you off. And if you did find it helpful, please give us a thumbs up. And as mentioned at the start, we're now very close to that 1,000 subscriber mark. So close. So if you haven't subscribed, please give us a subscribe. That'll go down very well. And we'll get us to 1,000 where we can start doing more sort of cool stuff. Yeah, if you liked it, give it a big fat thumbs up. If you didn't, don't do anything. Comment. Yeah, and I will catch you in the next video, which will be out next week now. This will be out on Friday, whatever day it is tomorrow. Yeah, leave it to last minute. And yeah, I will catch you in the next video. I'm just going to slow down for this station. Just keep slowing down just like this. Perfect, and release the doors. As ever, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.